designed as badly as composers. Domenico Scarlatti actually owned one which would stroll across the keyboard and pick out passable subjects for fugue. But that was a Spanish cat of the Enlightenment. He appreciated counterpoint. Nowadays, all cats appreciate a coloratura, like the rest of the public. This is now the very last hour of my life. You must understand. Not forgive. I do not seek forgiveness. I was a good man, as the world calls good. What use was it to me? Goodness could not make me a good composer. Was Mozart good? Goodness is nothing in the furnace of art. On that dreadful night of the manuscripts, my life acquired a terrible and thrilling purpose. The blocking of God in one of his purest manifestations. I had the power. God needed Mozart to elect himself into the world. Mozart needed me to get him worldly advancement. So it would be a battle to the end. And Mozart was the background. One thing I knew of him, he was a cunning enemy. Witness the fact that in blocking him in the world, I was also given the satisfaction of obstructing a disliked human rival. Which of you, I wonder, will refuse that chance if it is offered? I felt the danger at once. As soon as I uttered my challenge, how would he answer? Would he strike me dead for my impiety? Don't laugh. I was not a sophisticate of the salons. I was a small town Catholic, full of dread. The first thing that happened, barely 1 hour later, suddenly, Constanza was back at 10 o'clock at night. Signor.
My husband is at a soiree of Baroness Feast, a concert of Sebastian Bach. He didn't think I would enjoy it.
I see. I will bring if you require anything. Thank you.
Where do we go then?
What?
Do we do it in here? Why?
Hey.
Well then, let's get on with it.
Your manuscripts are there. Please take them and go now. At once.
You shit!
Via! Do not hear what?
Shit!
Via! You see how it was? I would have liked it. Oh, yes, just then more than ever. But now I wanted nothing petty. My quarrel was not with Mozart, but through him to God, who loved him so. Amadeus! The next afternoon, when Caterina Cavalier came to her lesson, I made the same halting speech about coins of tenderness and dubbed the girl La Generosa. I regret my invention in love, as an art has always been limited. Fortunately, Caterina found it sufficient. She consumed 20 nipples of Venus, kissed me with branded breath, and slipped easily into my bed. She remained there as my mistress for many years behind my good wife's back, and I soon erased in sweat the sense of his little body, the creatures preceding me. So much my vow of sexual virtue. The same evening I went to the palace and resigned from all my committees to help a lot of poor musicians. So much my vow of social virtue. Then I went to the emperor and recommended a man of no talent whatever to instruct the Princess Elizabeth.
Yes, a dull man, surely. What of Mozart?
Majesty, I cannot with a clear conscience recommend Mozart to teach royalty. One hears too many stories.
They may be just gossip.
One I regret relates to a protege of my own, a very young singer.
Charmant.
Not pleasant, Majesty, but true.
I see. Let it be Herr Sommer, then. I dare say he can't do much harm. To be frank, no one can do much harm musically to the Princess Elizabeth.
Mozart certainly did not suspect. The emperor announced the appointment in his usual way.
Well, there it is.
And I commiserated with the loser.
It's my own fault. My father always writes I should be more obedient. Know my place. He'll send me 16 lectures when he hears of this.
It was a most serious loss as far as Mozart was concerned.
His list of pupils hardly moved.
6 and most.
And now a child to keep.
A boy.
Poor fellow. I, by contrast, prospered. This is the astonishing truth. If I expected anger from God, none came. None at all. Instead, incredibly, in 84 and 85, I came to be known as infinitely the superior composer. And this despite the fact that these were the same 2 years in which Mozart wrote his best keyboard concerti and his string quartets.
Haydn calls the quartets unsurpassed.
They were, but no one heard them.
Van Swieten calls the concerti sublime.
They were, but no one noticed. The Viennese greeted each unique concerto with the squeals of delight usually reserved for a new style of bonnet. Each was played once, then totally forgotten. I alone was empowered to recognize them fully for what they were. The most perfect things made by man in the whole of the 18th century. By contrast, my operas were played everywhere and saluted by everyone. I composed my SuedamA for Munich.
Rapturously received.
People faint with pleasure.
I wrote a comic opera for Vienna, La Grotta di Profondo.
The talk of the city.
The cafes are buzzing.
I finally finished my tragic opera Danaus and produced it in Paris.
Stupendous reception.
The blood had shaken the room.
Your name sounds throughout the empire.
Throughout all Europe.
It was incomprehensible. All were almost as if I were being pushed deliberately from triumph to triumph. I filled my head with golden opinions, yes, and this house with golden furniture. My own taste was for plain things, but I denied it. I grew confident. I grew resplendent. I gave salons and soirees and worshipped the season round at the altar of success.
Mozart heard your comedy last night.
He spoke of it to the Princess Lichnowsky.
He said you should be made to clean up your own mess.
Really? What charmers these Salzburgers are.
People are outraged by him.
He empties drawing rooms. Now Van Swieten is angry with him.
Lord Fugue? I thought he was the Baron's pet.
Mozart has asked leave to write an Italian opera.
Italian opera. Threat! My kingdom.
And the Baron is scandalized.
But what? What is the theme of it?
Figaro! The marriage of Figaro! That disgraceful play of Beaumarchais! That's all he can find to waste his talent on, a vulgar farce. When I reproved him, he said I reminded him of his father. Noblemen lusting after chambermaids. Their wives dressing up in stupid disguises anyone could penetrate in a second. Why set such rubbish?
Because I want to do a piece about real people, Baron. And I want to set it in a real place. A boudoir. Because that to me is the most exciting place on earth. Underclothes on the floor. Sheets still warm from a woman's body. Even a piss pot burning under the bed.
Mozart!
I want life, Baron. Boring legends.
Herr Salieri's using Amadeus as a legend, and that did not bore the French.
No, it is impossible to bore the French except with real life.
I had assumed, now that you joined our Brotherhood of Masons, you would choose more elevated themes.
Oh, elevated, elevated. The only thing a man should elevate is his doodle.
You are provoking, sir! Has everything to be a joke with you?
Excuse language, Baron, but really, how can we go on forever with these gods and heroes?
Because they go on forever, that's why. They represent the eternal in us. Opera is here to ennoble us, Mozart, you and me, just as well as the Emperor. It is an aggrandizing art. It celebrates the eternal in man, and ignores the ephemeral, the goddess in woman, and not the longest.
Well said, sir. Exactly.
Oh, well said, yes, well said, exactly. I don't understand you. You're all up on your perches, but it doesn't hide your assholes. You don't give a shit about gods and heroes. If you are honest, each one of you, which of you isn't more at home with his hairdresser than Hercules? or Horatius? Or your stupid deniers come to that? Or mine, Mithridate, king of Pontus, Idomeneo, king of Crete. Ah, all these anguish antiques, they're all bores. All serious operas written this century are boring. Look at us, 4 gaping mouths. What a perfect quartet. Oh, I'd love to write just this second of time, this now, as you are. Herr Chamberlain thinking, impertinent Mozart, I must speak to the Emperor at once. Herr Prefect thinking, ignorant Mozart, debasing opera of his vulgarity. Herr Court composer thinking, German Mozart, what can he finally know about music? And Herr Mozart himself in the middle thinking, I'm just a good fellow. Why do they all disapprove of me? That's why opera is important, Baron, because it's realer than any play. But a dramatic poet would have to put all those thoughts down, one after another, to represent this second of time. The composer can put them all down at once, and still make us hear each one of them. Astonishing device, a vocal quartet. I tell you, I want to write a finale lasting half an hour. A quartet, becoming a quintet, becoming a sextet. On and on, wider and wider. All sounds multiplying and rising together. And then together, something entirely new. I bet that's how God hears the world. Millions of sounds ascending at once and mixing in his ear to become an unending music, unimaginable to us. And that's our job. That's our job, we composers, to combine the inner minds of him and him and him and her, the thoughts of chambermaids and court composers, and turn the audience into God. I'm sorry. I talk nonsense all day. It's incurable. Ask Stenzel. My tongue is stupid. My heart isn't.
No. You're a good fellow under all your nonsense. I know that. He'll make a fine new brother Mason, won't he, Salieri?
Better than I, better.
Just try, my friend, to be more serious with your gifts.
Buona fortuna, Mozart.
Grazie, signore. Stop frowning, Herr Chamberlain. I'm a jackass. It's easy to be friends with a jackass. Just shake his hoof. Tell the Emperor the opera's finished. Finished? Right here in my noodle. The rest is just scribbling. Goodbye.
Good day to you.
Oh, he's going to be proud of me. You'll see.
That young man really is
Very lively.
intolerable! Intolerable!
How could I stop it? How could I block this opera of Figaro? Incredible to hear. Within 6 weeks, the creature had finished the entire score.
Figaro is complete. The first performance will be May the 1st.
So soon.
There's no way we can stop it.
I have an idea. Una piccola idea.
What?
Mi ha detto che un balletto nel terzo atto.
Gee, what is he saying?
Ebbene, non è vero che l'imperatore ha proibito il balletto nelle sue opere?
Oh, no balletto. Oh.
Precisamente.
Oh, capisco. Ma che meraviglia, perfetto. Veramente ingegnoso.
What is it? What is he suggesting?
See him at the theater.
Oh, of course, I'd almost forgotten right away. You are brilliant, composer.
I have said nothing.
I must tell you, I resent this extremely. Mozart is right in some things. There is far too much Italian chittero-chattero in this court. Now please tell me at once what was just said.
Pazienza, my dear Chamberlain, pazienza. Just wait and see. Mozart? Mozart?
Yes, Herr Director.
A word with you, please. Quite away.
Certainly, what is it?
I would like to see your score of Figaro.
Oh, yes, why?
Just bring it here to me, please. To my hand. Now tell me, did you not know that the Emperor has expressly forbidden ballet in his opera?
Ballet?
Such as occurs in your third act.
That is not a ballet, Herr Director. That is a dance at Figaro's wedding.
Exactly, a dance.
But the Emperor doesn't mean to prohibit dancing when it's part of the story. He made that law to prevent insertions of stupid ballet like in French operas, and quite right, too.
It is not for you, Herr Mozart, to interpret the Emperor's edicts, merely to obey them.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Excellency?
Taking out what should never have been put in. Now, perhaps in future you will obey imperial command.
But if all that goes, there'll be a hole right at the climax of the story! Salieri! This is Salieri's idea!
Don't be absurd.
How did he think of that? Nothing I had ever done could possibly make him think that on his own. Had God given him the idea?
It's a conspiracy! I can smell it! I can smell it!
Control yourself.
What do you expect me to do? The first performance is 2 days off!
Write it over. That's your forte, is it not? Writing at speed.
No, but the music's perfect! No, but it's absolutely perfect as it is! I shall appeal to the Emperor. I'll go to him myself. Hold a rehearsal especially for him.
The Emperor does not attend a rehearsal.
He'll attend this one. Make no mistake, he'll come to this one, and then he'll deal with you!
The issue is simple. Write your act again, today, or withdraw your opera. That's final.
You shitbot! Whoppy, fuppy, wet-assed Italian-loving shitbot! Count Orsini, Rosenstick! Rosenhole! Rosenbugger! I'll hold a rehearsal, you'll see! The Emperor will come! You'll see! You'll see! You'll see! I am forbidden! I am forbidden! But of course you know already!
No.
Oh, no matter!
Mozart, if you wish, I will speak to the Emperor myself. Ask him to attend a rehearsal.
You wouldn't?
I cannot promise he will come, but I can try.
Oh, sir!
Good day. Needless to say, I did nothing whatever in the matter. But to my total stupefaction, in the middle of the last rehearsal of Figaro next day,
Beds and fireworks! Beds and fireworks! Gentlemen, good afternoon.
entirely against his usual practice, the Emperor appeared.
I can't wait for this Mozart, I assure you. Je prévois des merveilles.
Oh, Majesty!
What did this mean? Was this proof God had finally decided to defend Mozart against me? Was he engaging with me at last?
I am so grateful to you, I cannot express it.
Hush, say nothing. One thing about the event surely seemed more than coincidence. Strangely, the Emperor had arrived at precisely that moment when the dancers would have begun had not their music been entirely cut.
Ecco la marcia, andiamo ai vostri posti, bottiglia ai vostri posti. Susanna, dammi il braccio. Che vedrai.
The action as it proceeded in total silence.
I don't understand. Is it modern?
No, Majesty!
Then what?
The Herr Director has removed the dance that would have occurred at this point.
Why was this done?
It is your own regulation, sire. No ballet in your opera.
Majesty, this is not a ballet. It is part of a wedding feast, entirely necessary for the story.
Yes, well, it certainly looks very odd the way it is. I can't say I like it.
Nor do I, Majesty.
Do you like it, Rosenberg?
It's not a question of liking, Majesty. Your own law decrees it.
It's all the same. This is nonsense. Look at them, they're like waxworks up there.
Exactly.
I don't like waxwork.
Nor do I.
Well, who would? What do you say, Salieri?
Italians are fond of waxworks, Majesty. Our religion is largely based upon them.
Being Cattivo again, court composer.
Your Majesty, Count Rosenberg is very worried that if this music is put back in, it will create the most unfortunate precedent. One will have thereafter to endure hours of dancing in opera.
I think we can guard against that, Chamberlain. No? I really think we can guard against hours of dancing. Please restore Herr Mozart's music.
But Majesty, I must insist.
You will oblige me in this, Rosenberg. I wish to hear Mozart's music. Do you understand me?
Yes, Majesty.
Oh, God, I thank your Majesty. Oh, thank you, sir, forever.
Yes, yes, very good. A little less enthusiasm, I think.
Excuse me.
Well, there it is.
In spite of all my efforts, I sat in my box and watched it happen. A conspicuous defeat for me. And yet, I was strangely excited. My poor march of welcome, now set to enchant the world forever.
Non cadrai farfallo amoroso, non che giorno ritorno girando, che belle giorno e riposo, nel ci sentarci l'amor. Che belle giorno e riposo, nel ci sentarci l'amor. Che viva la vittoria, alla gloria militare.
Almost in your style, that last bit. But more vulgar, of course. Far more obvious than you would ever be.
Exactly. Trembling, I heard the second act. One day hear this last act for yourselves. And you will, because whatever else shall pass away, this must remain. night in a summer garden. Pinprick stars gleamed down on shaking summer houses. Plotters glided behind pasteboard hedges. I saw a woman dressed in her maid's clothing hear her husband utter the first tender words he has offered her in years, only because he thinks she is someone else. Could one catch a realer moment? And how, except in a net of pure artifice? The disguises of opera had been invented for Mozart. Reconciliation, melted sight. Through my tears, I saw the Emperor yawn.
Most ingenious, Mozart. You're coming along nicely. I do think we must omit encores in future. It really makes things far too long. Make a note, Rosenberg.
Majesty.
Gentlemen, good night to you. Strack, attentive.
Herr Salieri. What do you think? Do you think I'm coming along nicely?
I think the piece is extraordinary. I think it is marvelous. Yes.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the best opera yet written. That's what it is. And only I could have done it. No one else.
Rosenberg is furious.
You'll never forgive Mozart.
He'll do anything to get back at him.
So it wasn't difficult to get the piece cancelled. I saw to it for the person of the resentful director that in the entire year Figaro was played only 9 times. My defeat finally turned into a victory. And God's response to my challenge remained as inscrutable as ever. Was he paying any attention to me at all?
Withdrawn! absolutely no plans for its revival.
I commiserate with you, my friend, but if the public does not care for one's work, one must learn to accept the fact gracefully. And certainly they didn't.
It's too complicated.
Too tiresome.
All those weird harmonies.
And never a good bang at the end of songs, so you know when to clap.
Obviously, I would not need to plot too hard against his operas in future. The Viennese could be relied upon to destroy those for me. I must concentrate on the man. I decided to see him as much as possible, to learn everything I could of his weaknesses.
I'll go to England. England loves music. That's the answer.
We were yet again in the library of the Baroness Waldstein. That room fated to be the scene of ghastly encounters with it. Again, too, compensating crema al mascarpone.
I was there when I was a boy. They absolutely adored me. I had 4 kisses that you had cakes. And I was a child, people know.
Perhaps they will again. Why not go to London and try?
Because I have a wife and child and no money. I wrote to Papa to take the boy off my hands just for a few months so I could go, and he refused. In the end, everyone betrays me. Even the man you think loves you the most. He's a bitter man, of course. After he finished showing me off around Europe, he never went anywhere himself. He just stayed up in Salzburg year after year, kissing the ring of the Archbishop and lecturing me. The real thing is, you see, he's jealous. Under everything, he's jealous of me. He'll never forgive me for being cleverer than he is. I'll tell you a secret. Leopold Mozart is just a jealous, dried-up old turd. And I actually detest him.
Leopold Mozart.
Leopold Mozart.
Leopold Mozart is dead.
Do not despair. Death is inevitable, I feel.
How will I go now?
What do you mean?
In the world, there's no one else. No one who understands the wickedness around him. I can't see it. He watched for me all my life. And I betrayed him.
No.
I talked against him.
No.
I married where he begged me not. I left him alone. I danced and played billiards and fooled about. And he stayed by himself, night after night in an empty house. And no woman to care for me.
Wolfgang, my dear Wolfgang, don't accuse yourself. Lean upon me. Lean upon me. So rose the ghost father in Don Giovanni. A father more accusing than any in opera. So rose the figure of the guilty libertine cast into hell. I looked on astonished as from his ordinary life he made his art. We were both ordinary men, he and I, yet he from the ordinary created legends, while I from legends created only the ordinary.
Don Giovanni, a cena la teco, mi invitasti e son venuto.
my war, shown him some pity? Oh yes, my friends, at any time, had he himself shown me one drop of it. Every day I went to work, I prayed. I still prayed, you understand. Make this one good in my ears. Just this one. One! But would he ever? I heard my music calmed in convention. Not one breath of spirit to lift it off the shallows. And I heard his. The spirit singing through it, unstoppable to my ears alone. I heard his comedy of the seduction of two sisters, cause if unto thus do all women. Constanza and Aloysia, immortalized. Two averagers turned into divinities. Their sounds of surrender, sweeter than the songs in heaven. Salieri. I have Mozart. Better for you to be silent. One way, starvation. Starve out the god. Reduce the man to destitution. How do you fare today?
Badly. I have no money and no prospect of any.
It would not be too hard, surely.
We must find him a post.
one danger, the Emperor. Majesty, there's nothing available at present.
There's chamber composer now that Gluck is dead.
Mozart to follow you.
I won't have him say I drove him away. You know what talent he had.
Then grant him Gluck's post, Majesty, but not his salary. That would be wrong.
Gluck got 2,000 florins a year. What should Mozart get?
200. Light payment, yes, but for light duties.
Perfectly fair. I'm obliged to you, court composer.
Easily done. Like many men obsessed with being thought generous, the Emperor was quite essentially stingy.
Herr Mozart, vous nous faites honneur.
It's a damn insult! Not enough to keep a mouse in cheese for a week!
Regard it as a token. Correct.
When it was young, they gave me stuffed houses. Now it's tokens. And for what? Pom-pom for fireworks, twang-twang for contradance.
I'm sorry it's made you angry. I'd not have suggested it if I'd known you'd be distressed.
You suggested it?
I only regret I could not do more.
Oh, forgive me. You're a good man. I see that now. You're a truly kind man, and I'm a monstrous fool.
No, please.
You make me ashamed, you excellent man.
No. S'il vous plaît. A little less enthusiasm, I beg. What is it?
I get cramps sometimes in my stomach. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's nothing, really.
I will see you soon again.
Of course.
Why not visit me?
I will. I promise.
Ben,
Ben,
my friend. My new friend. Now, if ever was the moment for God to crush me, I waited. Do you know what happened? I had just ruined Mozart's career at court. God rewarded me by granting me my dearest wish.
Kapellmeister Bono.
Kapellmeister Bono.
Kapellmeister Bono is dead. You are appointed
By royal decree.
to fill his place.
First royal and imperial, Kapellmeister of our court.
Bravo!
Anything else again?
Well done, Salieri. Dear Salieri, there it is.
Now I was truly alarmed. How long would I go unpunished?
Congratulations, sir.
Mozart looks appalling.
It must be galling, of course.
I hear he's dosing himself constantly with medicine.
For what?
Envy, I imagine.
I hear there's another child on the way.
There is, I've seen the mother.
I met him next in the Prater.
Congratulations, sir.
I thank you, and to you, both. Clearly it was a change for the worse. His eyes gleamed oddly, like a dog's when the light catches. I hear you are not well, my friend.
I'm not. My pains stay with me.
How wretched. What can they be?
Also, I sleep badly. I have bad dreams.
Dreams.
Always the same one. A figure comes to me cloaked in black, doing this. It has no face, just black, like a mask. What can it mean, do you think?
Surely you do not believe dreams.
No, of course not, really.
Surely you do not, Madame.
I never dreamed, sir. Things are unpleasant enough to be awake.
It's all fancy, of course.
If Wolfgang had proper work, he might dream
please. Excuse us, sir. Come please. We are well enough, thank you.
He's growing freakish.
No question.
Black figures with masked faces.
He broods too much on his father, I fancy. Also, his circumstances make him anxious.
They've moved house again.
To the Raubenstein Gasse, number 970.
They must be desperate.
It's a real slum.
Does he earn any money at all, apart from his post?
Nothing whatever.
I hear he's starting to beg.
I hear he's written letters to 20 brother Masons.
Really?
And they're giving him money.
Of course! They would! Forgotten Masons! Naturally, they would relieve him how stupid of me. There could be no finally starving him with the Masons there to help. As long as he asked, they would keep supplying his wants. How can I stop it?
Lord Feud is most displeased with him.
Is he?
This is not good, brother. The lodge was not created for you to beg from.
What else can I do?
Give concerts as you used
I
to.
have no subscribers left, Baron. I'm no longer fashionable.
I am not surprised. You write tasteless comedies which give offense. I've warned you often enough.
I admit it.
I will send you some fugues of Bach. You may arrange those for my Sunday concert. You shall have a small fee.
Thank you, Baron. I cannot live by writing Bach!
A generous fellow.
All the same, I'll have to do it. If you were to turn the lodge against me, I'd be finished.
Absolutely true.
My brother Mason virtually keep me now. Never mind. I'll manage, you'll see. Things are looking up already. I've had a marvelous proposal from Schickinator. He's a new member of this lodge.
Schickinator, the actor?
Yes, he owns a theater in the suburbs.
Well, more of a music hall, sure.
Yes. He wants me to write him a vaudeville, something for ordinary German people. Isn't that a wonderful idea? He's offered me half the receipts when we open.
Nothing in advance.
He said he couldn't afford anything. I know it's not much of an offer, but a popular piece about brotherly love could celebrate everything we believe as Masons.
Certainly could. Why don't you put the Masons into it?
Into an opera? I couldn't. All the same, what an idea!
Our rituals are secret, Wolfgang.
I needn't copy them exactly. I could adapt them a little.
Well, it certainly would be in a great cause.
Brotherly love.
Brotherly love.
Try it and see.
Take courage, Wolfgang. It's a glorious idea.
It is, isn't it? It really is.
Only say nothing till it's done.
Not a word.
Secret.
Secret.
Go. And if that didn't finish him off with the Masons, nothing would.
Mozart is delighted with himself
He's writing a secret opera.
and won't tell anyone its theme.
It's really too tiresome.
He told me everything. Initiation ceremonies, ceremonies with blindfolds, all rituals copied from the Masons. He sat at home preparing his own destruction. A home where life grew daily more grim.
I'm cold. I'm cold all day. Hardly surprising since we have no fire.
Papa was right. We have exactly as he said, beggars.
It's all his fault.
Papa's?
He kept you a baby all your life.
I don't understand. You always loved Papa.
Did I?
You adored him. You told me so often.
I hated him.
What?
And he hated me.
That's absurd. He loved us both very much. You're being extremely silly now. Yes, you are, wife of my heart.
Do you remember the fire we had last night because it was so cold you couldn't even get the ink wet? What a blaze, you said. What a blaze, all those old papers.
I'm frightened, Stenzi. Something awful is happening to me.
I can't bear much more.
And the figure's like this now. Here! Come here! Here, his face still masked, invisible. Oh, it becomes realer and realer to me.
For God's sake, stop! It's me who's frightened me! You frighten me! You go on like this, I will leave you, I swear it!
Stenzi!
Admit!
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Come here to me, little wife of my heart. Come. Who am I? Quick, tell me. Hold me and tell who I am. Oh, who else? And your squeaky pee It's done Monty and being Poopy pee Come on, do it. Do it. Let's do it. Poppy.
Pappy.
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 Papa.
Papa.
Papa. Papa. Papa. Papa. Papa. Papa. Stacy, what is it?
News! Suddenly, she's been delivered.
Unexpectedly.
Of a boy.
Poor little imp.
To be born to that couple.
In that room.
With that money.
And the father, a baby himself.
And now I hear. Something more has happened. Even stranger.
She's gone!
What?
Stenzel's gone away! Just for a while, she says, she's taking the baby and gone to Baden. To the spa. It'll cost us the last money we have.
Why?
She's right to go. It's my fault she thinks I'm mad.
Oh, surely not.
Perhaps I am. I think I am, yes. Ooh, let me tell you, last night I saw the figure again. The figure in my dreams. Only I was awake. It stood before my table. All in black. Its face still black, still masked. And this time it spoke to me. Wolfgang Mozart, you must write now a requiem mass. Take up your pen and begin.
A requiem?
I asked, who is this requiem for? Who has died? It said the work must be finished when you see me next. And then it turned and left the room.
Oh, this is morbid fancy, my friend.
It had the force of real things. To tell the truth, I do not know whether it happened in my head or out of it. No wonder Stenzi is gone. I frightened her away. And now she'll miss the vaudeville.
You mean it's finished? So soon?
Oh, yes. Music is easy. It's merits that's hard.
I long to see it.
Would you come truly? The theater isn't grinding. It's just a popular music hall. No one from court will be there.
Do you think that matters to me? I would travel anywhere for a work by you. And so, to the opera we went. The first Kapellmeister, sleek as a cat, and Mozart, demented and drunk on the cheap wine which was now his constant habit. We went out in the suburbs to a crowded music hall in a tenement.
You must be indulgent now. It's my first taste of this kind.
We sat, as he wished us to, amongst ordinary Germans. The smell of sweat and sausage was almost annihilating. Oh, this is so exciting.
Do you think so?
Oh, yes. This is exactly the audience we should be writing for. Not the dreary court. As always, you show the way. As always, he did. My pungent neighbors rolled on the benches at their jokes, and I alone in their midst heard the magic flute. Masons into it right enough, oh yes. But how? He had turned them into an order of eternal priests. I heard voices calling out of ancient temples. I saw a vast sun rise on a timeless land where animals danced and children floated, and by its rays, all the poisons we feed one another, drawn up and burnt away.
Die Strahlen der Sonne vertreiben die Nacht,
more his father. No more an accusing figure, but forgiving, the highest priest in the order, his hand extended to the world in love. Mozart feared Leopold no longer. A new legend has been made. Oh, the sound of that newfound peace in him, mocking my undiminishing pain. There was the magic flute, there beside me. Mozart, the flute, and God, the relentless player. How long could the creature stand? So frail, so palpably mortal. And what was this I was tasting suddenly? Could it be pity? Never!
Mozart!
Baron, you hear how wonderful you become.
I had, of course, suggested it.
What have you done?
Excellency?
You have put our rituals into a vulgar show!
No, sir!
They're plain for all to see and to laugh at! You have betrayed the order!
No!
A word.
Don't speak for him, Salieri! You, wherever the cruel Bulgarian we hope to mend, stupid, hopeless task! Now I see you are a betrayer as well! I shall never forgive you. And depend upon it, I shall ensure that no Freemason or person of distinction shall assist you so long as I have life!
Baron, please, I must...
No, sir, leave alone! I did not look for this reward, Mozart. Never speak to me!
Wolfgang, all is not lost. But of course it was. Now he was ruined, broken, and shunned by all men of influence. And for good measure, he did not even get his half receipts from the opera.
Schikaneder pays him nothing.
Schikaneder cheats him,
Gives him enough for liquor.
and then keeps all the rest.
I couldn't have managed better myself. And then suddenly, silence. No word from him at all. Why? I waited each day. Nothing. Why? What does he do?
He sits at his window,
All day and all night.
writing
Like a man possessed.
springs up every minute,
Stares wildly out of the street.
expecting something.
Someone.
We can't imagine what.
I could. What did he look for? A figure dressed in black, masked and sorrowing, come to take him away. I knew what he was doing alone in that slum. He was writing his requiem mass for himself. And now, I confess the wickedest thing I did to him. My friends, there is no blasphemy a man will not commit, compelled to such a war as mine. I got me a cloak of black. Yes. I got me a mask of black. Yes. And a hat of black. Yes. And appeared myself to the demented creature as the messenger of God. 1791, I, Antonio Salieri, then as now First Royal Kapellmeister to the Empire, walked empty Vienna in the freezing moonlight for 7 nights on end. And precisely as the clocks of the city struck 1, I would halt beneath Mozart's window and become his own more terrible clock. Every night I showed him 1 day less, then stalked away. Every night the face he showed me in the glass was more crazed, violent, with no days left to him, horrid. I arrived as usual, halted, and instead of fingers, reached up beseechingly as the figure from his dreams. Come. 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 He stood swaying as if he would faint off into death. But then suddenly, incredibly, he realized all his little strength, and in a clear voice called down to me the words out of his opera Don Giovanni, inviting the statue to dinner.
Stato a gentilissimo! Venite a cena!
For a long moment, one terrified man looked at another, and then, unbelievably, I found myself nodding. Just as in the opera, moving across the street, pushing down the latch of his door, tramping up the stairs with stone feet. There was no stopping it. I was in his dream.
It's not finished! Not nearly! Forgive me, Carlos, I can write a mass in a week! Give me 1 month more, it'll be done, I swear it! You'll grant me that, surely! God can't want it unfinished! Look, see what I've done! Kyrie the first theme. He lays on the second. Both together make a double fugue. Every time I beg you. If you do, I swear I'll write a real piece of music. I know at most I've written hundreds, but it's not true. I've written nothing finally good. Oh, it began so well. Once the world was so full, so happy. All the journeys, all the carriages, all the rooms of smiles. Everyone smiled at me once. The king at Seaside, the princess at Versailles. They lit my way with candles to the Clavier. My father, bowing with such joy. Chevalier Mozart, my miraculous son. Why is it all gone? Why? Was I so bad? So wicked? Answer what him and tell me. Why? Is it not good?
It is good. Yes. It is good. I eat what God gives me. Dose after dose. For all of life. His poison. We are both poison, Amadeus. I with you. You with me. Eccomi, Antonio Salieri. 10 years of my hate have poisoned you to death.
Oh, God!
God will not help you. God does not help.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God!
Does not love you, Amadeus. God does not love. He can only use. He cares nothing for who he uses, nothing for who he denies. You are no use to him anymore. You're too weak to sing. He is finished with you. All you can do now is die. Die, Amadeus! No! Die! Die! I beg you, die! Leave me alone! Implore or leave me alone at last! Leave me alone! 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 Alone!
Papa? Oh, Papa! Papa! Take me, Papa! Take me! Put down your arms and I'll hop into them. Just as we used to do it. Hop, 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 hop. Oh! Pull me close to you, Papa. Let's sing our little kissing song together. Do you remember? Oh, ma. Marina Camina, ma. Marina Camina, ma.
Reduce the man. Reduce the God. Behold, my vow fulfilled.
Marina Camina, ma.
profoundest voice in the world, reduced to a nursery tune.
Salieri!
Yes, my dear.
Salieri has killed me!
Yes, I'm sure.
He has! He told me so.
No one has hurt you.
He did!
Be silent now.
He did!
I'm back to take care of you. I'm so sorry I went away. I'm here now for always.
Salieri! Salieri!
Honey, be silent now. No one has hurt you. You'll get better soon, I promise. Can you hear me? If I've been a bore, if I've nagged a bit, it's because I'm spoilt. Loving you spoilt me. You've got to be so calm. The three of us, Lovey, we don't cost much, just don't leave us. We wouldn't know what to do without you. You wouldn't know what either up in heaven without us. It's so we've been wrong.
Said kidney failure, hastened by exposure to cold. Generous Lord Few paid for a pauper's funeral. 20 other corpses, an unmarked lime pit.
What little I can spare you shall have for the children. There's no need to waste it on vain show.
What did I feel? Relief, of course. I confess it. And pity, too, for the man I helped to destroy. I felt the pity God can never feel. I weakened God's flute to thinness. God blew, as he must without cease. The flute split in the mouth of his insatiable need. As for Constanza, in the fullness of time she married again, a Danish diplomat, dull as a clock, and retired to Salzburg, birthplace of the great composer, to become the pious keeper of his shrine.
A sweet-tongued man never lived. In 10 years of blissful marriage to him, I never heard him utter a single cold, single word. The purity of his life is reflected absolutely in the purity of his music. In selling his of manuscripts I charge by the ink. So many notes. So many shillings. That seems to me the simplest way.
What amazing fact emerged. Mozart did not imagine that masked figure in black who came to him and said, "Take up your pen and write a requiem." No, it was real. A certain bizarre nobleman called Count Walsing had a longing to be thought a composer. He actually sent his steward to Mozart in disguise to commission the piece secretly so that he could pass it off as his own work. And this he even did. After Mozart's death, it was actually performed as Count Walsing's Requiem. And I conducted it. Naturally, I did. In those days, I presided over all great musical occasions. I even conducted the salvos of cannon in Beethoven's dreadful Battle Symphony. The experience made me almost as deaf as he was. And so, I stayed on in the city of musicians, reverenced by all, and on, and on, and on, for 32 years. And slowly, I came to understand the nature of God's punishment. What was it I had asked for in that church as a boy? Was it not fame? Well, now I had it. I was to become quite simply the most famous musician in Europe. I was to be bricked up in fame, buried in fame, embalmed in fame. But for work, I knew to be absolutely worthless. This was my sentence. I must endure 30 years of being called distinguished by people incapable of distinguishing. I must smell as I wrote it the deadness of my music, while their eyes brimmed with tears and their throats brayed with cheering, and when my nose had been robbed in fame to vomiting, receptions, awards, civic medals, and chains, then suddenly his masterstroke, silence! It would all be taken from me! Every scrap! Mozart's music sounded louder and louder in the world, and mine faded completely till no one played it at all. I must survive to see myself become extinct. And they trundled me out in my carriage to get my last award. A man on the curb said, "Isn't that one of the generals from Waterloo?" Nemico eterno Dio implacabile! Dawn has come. I must release you. One moment's violence, and it is over. You see, I cannot accept this. To be sucked into oblivion, not even my name remembered? Oh no! I did not come here to this earth to be his joke for eternity. I still have one track left here. Let's see how he deals with this. All this week I have been shouting out about murder. Do you remember? You heard me yourselves. Mozart! Pietà! Pardon your assassin! Mozart! I do this deliberately. My servants carried the news into the streets. streets repeated it to one another.
Salieri, Salieri.
Now my name is on every tongue. Vienna, city of scandals, has a scandal worthy of it at last.
Salieri, assassin, assassin, Salieri.
Can it be true? Is it possible? Did he do it after all?
Salieri.
Well, now, my friends, they will all know for certain. They will learn of my dreadful death, and they will believe the lie forever. From this day, whenever men mention Mozart's name with love, they will mention mine with loathing. As his name grows in the world, so will mine. I'm going to be immortal after all, and he is powerless to prevent it. So, signore, see now if man is mocked. Amici cari, I was born a pair of ears, nothing else. It was only through hearing music that I know God exists. Only by writing music that I could worship. All around me men seek liberty for mankind. I sought only slavery for myself, to be owned, ordered, exhausted by an absolute. Music that was denied me, and with it all meaning. If I cannot be Mozart, I do not wish to be anything. So, now I go to become a ghost myself. I will stand in the shadows when you come here to this earth in your terms. And when you feel the dreadful bite of your failures, and hear the taunting of unachievable, uncaring God, I will whisper my name to them. Antonio Salieri, patron saint of mediocrities. And in the depths of your downcastness, you can pray to me. I will forgive you. Vi saluto.
Beethoven's Conversation Book, November 1823. Visitors write the news for the deaf man.
Salieri has cut his throat, but is still alive.
Beethoven's Conversation Book, 1824. Visitors write the news for the deaf man.
Salieri is quite deranged. He keeps claiming that he is guilty of Mozart's death and made away with him by poison.
The German Musical Times, May 25th, 1825.
Our worthy Salieri just cannot die. In the frenzy of his imagination, he is even said to accuse himself of complicity in Mozart's early death. A rambling of the mind believed in truth by no one but the deluded old man himself.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe
I don't
it.
believe it.
No one believes it in the world.
I absolve you. Amen.
King